There are places the world recognizes instantly, even when they do not truly understand them. The Great Wall of China is one of those places. From a distance, it seems simple. A wall across the mountains. A line of stone running over the ridges. But the real story is larger, stranger, and far more human than the image most people carry in their minds. The first surprise is this. The Great Wall was never just one wall. It was built, rebuilt, extended, abandoned, and reshaped across many centuries. What we call the Great Wall is really a vast defensive system spread across the land. Not only walls, but towers, passes, fortresses, and routes of warning. Because the wall was never only about blocking movement, it was also about watching movement, slowing it, organizing it, turning geography into defense. And yet, the wall most people imagine is only part of the story. The famous image of the Great Wall, stone, brick, and watchtowers on the ridges, survives mostly from the Ming dynasty. That is the version that became iconic. But the Great Wall did not appear all at once, and it did not always look this way. Different dynasties built different sections for different reasons. Some stretches were built in brick and stone. Others were shaped from packed earth, made from what the land itself could provide. Some sections climbed steep green mountains. Others crossed harsher frontier landscapes where the wall felt less like a monument and more like a scar pressed into the earth. The Great Wall changed with the mountains, the climate, the available materials, and the rulers who shaped it. That is why it was never one material, because it was never one place. It adapted to terrain. It adapted to distance. It adapted to time. And once you understand that, the Great Wall stops looking like a single object. It starts looking like a long defensive system written across the landscape. It was built to defend frontiers that were never fully still. But it was never meant to be only a giant barrier of stone. It was a military network built to watch, warn, delay, and respond. Passes controlled movement. Towers extended vision. Fortified gates turned geography into strategy. And when danger appeared, the wall could speak across distance. Smoke by day, fire by night. A signal could travel far faster than any marching army. That is one of the most fascinating things about the Great Wall. It was not silent stone. It was information. From tower to tower, ridge to ridge, warnings moved through the mountains in a way that made the wall feel almost alive. Not alive in a mythical sense. Alive in the sense that architecture, strategy, and communication were working together. But stone, brick, and earth are only part of the story. Because underneath the monument is labor, exhaustion, fear, endurance. The wall was built by human bodies under difficult conditions. And that is why so many stories connected to it are not really about emperors. They are about ordinary lives swallowed by an enormous project. One of the most famous legends tells of a woman named Meng Zhongnu. She crossed great distances searching for her husband, only to learn that he had died in forced labor connected to the wall. Legend says her grief was so immense that part of the wall collapsed beneath her tears. Whether history, memory, or myth, the story survived because it gave the wall something raw scale alone could never provide. Human sorrow, human cost. A face behind the stone. The Great Wall did not become famous through history alone. It also became famous through myth. For generations, people repeated one claim again and again. That the Great Wall was visible from the moon. It isn't. The idea survived because it sounded perfect. A wall so vast that it could be seen from another world. But reality is less dramatic and more revealing. Even from low Earth orbit, seeing the wall clearly with the naked eye is extremely difficult. And in a strange way, that makes the wall even more interesting. Because its power was never really about being visible from space. Its power is felt on the ground. In the steepness of the stairs. In the watchtowers rising one after another. In the turns along the ridges. And on the ground, the wall changes personality from one place to another. At Badaling, it feels monumental, restored, and ceremonial. At Mutianyu, it feels preserved, open, and unexpectedly graceful. But at Jiangku, the wall becomes something else entirely. It becomes steep, fractured, dangerous, and raw. There it stops feeling ceremonial. It feels exposed, weathered, almost reclaimed by the mountains themselves. And that contrast reveals something important. The Great Wall is not powerful because it is uniform. It is powerful because it carries so many conditions of history at once. Order and ruin. Control and vulnerability. Labor and legend. Ambition and erosion. For all its scale, the Great Wall was never a magical shield. It could watch, warn, delay, and direct movement. But walls alone do not decide history. People do, power does, strategy does, time does. The wall survived centuries, but survival is not the same as safety. Wind, rain, erosion, and human pressure continue to wear away what remains. Some stretches are carefully restored, others are slowly dissolving back into the land. And maybe that's part of what makes the Great Wall so powerful now. Not only that it survived, but that it survived imperfectly. The Great Wall is not one wall, not one dynasty, not one story. It is a line of stone, earth, labor, fear, memory, and legend stretched across mountains and across the imagination of the world.